Do you really need to have your roof inspected on a regular basis? Well, think of it this way. That's kind of like going to your doctor for a regular checkup. A roof inspection can find potential problems in the beginning stages so that you can take care of them before they turn into some sort of big money drain. Here are 9 costly roof problems that you can prevent with regular roof inspections. Now, most people don't even think about the fact that their roof needs maintenance, just like their car does. And checking your roof regularly is going to let you know if you've got problems developing, like maybe rusted flashing, or worn out pipe jacks, or clogged gutters. All of these things can get worse over time and cause problems like maybe water coming into your house or water ruining your siding or stucco. Another thing that a roof inspector can find is damaged siding, where it comes in contact with a lower roof. So this is a common problem when the siding is cut too close to where the shingles are going to be installed, and that area holds water, whether it's snow just sitting there or whether it's rainwater running down the roof in that spot. If that siding is too close to those shingles, you're going to start to see some water rot in the siding. Obviously, leaks can turn into very costly problems that can add up very quickly. We've worked with some homeowners who've had interior water damage due to leaky roofs, and their costs were between $10,000 and $20,000 to fix. Not only can a roof inspection find those potential leaks in things like pipe jacks and flashings and gutters, but a thorough inspector is going to check in the attic too. So if the roofing inspector is going to check your attic, what he's looking for when he's up there is anything that might show that water's gotten through the roof in the past or is actively leaking water into the house now. So if there's a place like that and it gets caught early, it can be repaired before it starts to do damage to your insulation, your drywall, or other things inside your house. And if your bath exhaust fan isn't correctly vented through the roof, a roofing inspector who checks your attic is going to find that problem too. But why is it so important that your bath fan be vented correctly? Well, the short answer is that if it isn't, it can cause water to drip back out of the fan, which is kind of an unpleasant surprise when you're sitting on the throne, so to speak. Or it can actually cause water to soak through the drywall around the fan. So this right here is the exhaust ducting for that bath fan. And you can see down at the bottom of it, there is a wet spot. And you come up here, you can see that this duct work does not exhaust out of the roof. Although they terminated it right here underneath a box vent, that moist air still can't get out. And in fact, I don't know if I can get in on this nail. You can see a drop of water right there. There's actually a drop of water, a little bead of water at the bottom of almost every one of these nails. And that's what happens when you vent a bath exhaust fan into an attic instead of going out through the roof. Now, if you found a stain on your ceiling, or you notice a soft spot on the drywall, or if you see water actively coming through your ceiling, call a roofer right away and get that inspected as soon as you can. If you've got concrete or clay tile roof, well, these can get broken over time. Hail or wind or even foot traffic can loosen or break these tiles. And when that happens, well, now there's a hole opened up in your roof covering and water's going to get under the tiles. And when that happens, your only hope of preventing water from getting into the house is the underlayment that's underneath the tiles. So that underlayment might keep the water out for a while, but eventually the water is going to find a nail that it can follow through the roof deck into your house. Getting your roof inspected regularly if you've got a tile roof is a really good idea, because the inspector is going to find these broken tiles and get them replaced for you and prevent an even more expensive repair in the future. But if you've got a tile roof, here's a pro tip. Old tiles can be pretty brittle and fragile, and even some of the newer tiles can be pretty fragile. So if you're going to have a roof inspector come inspect your tile roof, you might want to ask him to do it with a drone so he doesn't have to walk on the roof. Not having adequate ventilation in your roof can cause all kinds of problems. It can cause moisture buildup in the attic, which can compromise or ruin your insulation and even encourage mold growth. It can pull rain and snow into your attic during a storm, and it can even raise your energy bills as all that heat gets trapped in the attic. But more than anything else, the excess heat in your attic can ruin the shingles from underneath, and that causes them to wear out a lot faster. Plus, it voids the warranty that you have from the manufacturer of the shingles. So that way, if you ever do have a need to file a warranty claim, if you don't have enough ventilation in the roof, the company could deny your warranty claim and you might be out of pocket to fix or replace your roof. If your roof is old, getting it inspected regularly is going to let you keep tabs on how much life expectancy it has left. This is going to help you determine when the right time is to replace the roof, and it's going to let you know if your roof is vulnerable to maybe shingle deterioration or thermal problems or wind damage. It kind of goes without saying that it's a lot better to get your roof replaced before the shingles start falling apart or begin blowing off in the next windstorm. If you live in an area where you have trees close to your house, it's a good idea to have regular inspections to make sure that the branches aren't rubbing on your shingles. Tree branches can scrape shingles or even tear them off, and when that happens, you lost your primary protection from water coming into the house. But if you have squirrels or raccoons where you live, it's definitely a good idea to inspect your roof regularly. We did a repair for one homeowner where squirrels tore a hole into a plastic box vent so that they could get into the attic. And we also worked on a different house where squirrels got underneath the S-shaped concrete tiles and chewed a 3 to 4 inch hole through the roof deck so that they could get into the attic and make a nest up there. Then the next time there was a heavy rainstorm, when the water got underneath the tiles, it found that 3 to 4 inch hole and came right into the house. And it did $20,000 worth of damage to the interior of the home, not even including the cost for the roof repair. And their insurance wouldn't cover it because it was considered flood damage and they didn't have flood insurance. So that was a $20,000 expense that they had to come out of pocket for just because of a squirrel. We've also seen squirrels chew through pipe jacks and ridge vents, and squirrels and raccoons in trees can actually cause a lot of damage to your roof. Here are some things related to the weather that may cause you to want or need to get an inspection. And the obvious big one is a hailstorm. Now, if the storm has small or average size hail, you probably don't need to worry too much about it. An inspection might be helpful, but in most cases, you're not going to need to replace your roof just because of a normal size hailstorm. But if it's a storm that's like dented your car or broken windows or damaged your stucco or siding, you should definitely get a roof inspection at that point because the likelihood that it also damaged your shingles is pretty high. But what if you hear a slapping sound or a vibrating sound or a pounding sound from your roof when the wind blows? Well, that could mean that you've got shingles that are no longer sealed. Or if you find shingles in your yard after a hard wind, well, that's another reason for you to get your roof inspected. Even if the shingles aren't from your roof, because you likely won't even know that. We did an inspection for somebody who was concerned that he had lost shingles after a high wind, and the shingles actually came from his neighbor's house. All of these things that I've mentioned so far, if you're not paying attention to them, can void the product warranty that you have from your shingle manufacturer. So that means if there's ever a defect found on your shingles, but you haven't been addressing these other problems that I've talked about so far, the shingle manufacturer probably won't pay for the repairs or the replacement of your shingles. What that means for you is that if you have a roof that has defective shingles, but your warranty is voided because you haven't been maintaining it, then you have to pay out of pocket for the repairs or the replacement of your roof. If you're trying to sell your house, it's almost guaranteed that the buyer is going to have the house inspected. And this always includes the inspection of the roof. If you've gotten a contract on your house, but then some major problems show up when the home inspector checks the roof, that could cause the sale of your house to fall through. The best thing to do is to have a roofer, not just the home inspector, inspect your roof prior to you putting it on the market. Be sure to get a full report of the condition of the roof, and if there's any issues found, be sure to get them fixed because those are almost always going to show up on the buyer's home inspection report. Now, the big question that I know you're all thinking should be, how often should I have my roof inspected? Well, my recommendation is pretty simple. Once a year or after a major weather event. But the next big question you're probably asking is, how do I find a good roofer to do this? Well, Watch the video in this playlist, or if you just need some quick tips on choosing a good roofer, watch this video.